ABCD!
Hey everybody, Three Gun Guy here. I wanted to introduce you to my newest carry gun. It's the Taurus G2C. It's 9mm, has a 3.25 inch barrel. We're going to unbox it here in a minute, but I wanted to show you that I got this from a range I go to nearby, Saddle River, for about $219. Now, some of you in the comments are going to say, oh, why'd you get that piece of crap Taurus and blah, blah, blah. Well, if you know me, you know that I do some research on these. Now, I did not do the spreadsheet on this comparison like I usually do. And I do, or I have been carrying a M&P Shield, but it's a 40. And the thing I didn't like about that was I only had 1 in the chamber and 6 in the magazine. I wanted a few more rounds. So I went ahead and did my research, and yes, there are other weapons out there. I looked at the Springfield, I looked at the Smith & Wesson options, I looked at some of the other pistols as well. And, you know, I just didn't feel like dropping a lot of money on it. And again, the comments are going to say, oh, you're betting your life on this thing. Okay, gotcha. But I did do a lot of research, talked to 3 people who own these, swear by them, and carry them. And my thought was, I'm going to get this. I'm going to run a couple hundred rounds through it, see how it runs, and we'll go from there. So, with all that said, it does come in a pretty simple, plain box. You know, it's just a cardboard box. And I've seen comments that say, oh, that comes in a cardboard box and these other guns come in a beautiful plastic case. Well, only thing I do with the plastic case is put it up in the top shelf of my closet. So I don't really care what they come in as long as they work. So what we have here is we have a lock. We have the Taurus instruction manual, which is pretty well written, actually. I've gone through this thing. Nice. It comes with 2 magazines. Now, I do have the other magazine fully loaded. This is unloaded, as you can see. Magazine is unloaded. And then it comes with the pistol, which I have unloaded. And let's just make sure that she's unloaded. Nothing in the chamber, as you can see. Drop, hammered down. It's a simple pistol. The thing I like about it also is it's a double stack, and when the magazine is in there, it really feels good in your hand. The other thing that I do like about this pistol, and in one of my criteria, was I did want a safety, but I wanted a convenient safety, and this pistol has a very convenient safety. If you remember, I run a 10 folio, basically 1911 format pistol for competition, and the safety is right here on it. So from all the repetition in competition, I'm very comfortable that, again, when you pull this, and I love it when people go, a safety just gets in the way. Look, by the time, if I'm using this like my 10 folio, by the time this is out of the holster, the safety's off, folks. Safety's already off, right? I'm not fumbling with it. So by the time this has cleared my holster, just like in competition, that safety is off right there. So the safety doesn't mean anything, in my humble opinion. Now, I've never really had a pistol that's, when I was talking to some of the guys, they said this is like a Glock format, right? The way you break it down. So, you know, he showed me one way of doing it, and I can't get my hands right on it. So I just pull the slide back, pull down on this switch here on both sides. You'll see it's on both sides of the gun. And then you can just pull the trigger and then you're off. Again, very simple mechanics in here, right? You've got your barrel, you've got your, whoops. You've got your spring and rod, and you just have to make sure that that spring is set right on top of that shelf and that it's centered, and then the pistol goes right back together again. So let me just make sure I put that back together, and there we are. Okay. So again, pretty simple operation. The slide catch is, you know, normal slide catch there, if I can get it. I'm still trying to figure this thing out too. So let's look here. There we go. So slide catch, slide release, pretty tactile. It has this finger rest on here, and again, I didn't really think too much about it. Again, unloaded, didn't really think too much about that. But at the range, I ran about 200 rounds through this already. No hiccups at all with 115 grain and 124 grain. The sights were a little off, but after I zeroed them in, I was pretty accurate out to 12 yards. And basically, for this type of a pistol, for what you're using this for, 12 yards is 36 feet. You're going to be defending yourself, in my opinion, well within that range. So if I can hit a 8-inch, I was hitting an 8-inch shoot and see target regularly. In fact, all the shots were in it at 12 yards. I'm pretty confident, and along with my 3-gun work, that this is going to be a good gun for me. So that's a pretty quick review. Now, if you look at this thing, let's look at the trigger. You'll see some other reviews about the trigger. And the trigger, I mean, the trigger is kind of ridiculous. The take up on this thing, you basically hit the wall way back here in the back, and then it breaks pretty smoothly. Reset. So if we reset, is actually not that bad. It's about 1/8 of an inch of reset on this thing. And then again, you're breaking again. Now, I will tell you, it took some getting used to. After about the first magazine, I finally got used to it, because when you're pulling that trigger, let's just go all the way back. When you're pulling the trigger, I was getting to here and going, why isn't this thing firing? and I was actually pulling on it. Now, the trigger on this, the guy at Saddle River ran a trigger pull on it, and it was around 4.5 to 5 pounds, which really, in my opinion, is not that bad. That's not a bad trigger pull especially for a self-defense gun. You don't want, my Tamfolio is running 14 ounces trigger pull, and the reason it is because it's a competition gun. I don't want that light of a trigger if I'm carrying. So to me, a 4.5, 5 pound trigger is perfect for self-defense. Now, two other features that the gun has, and I really don't care about either one, but I just wanted to show you anyway, was it does have a little mini rail here on the front that you could mount like a flashlight to, or something like that. And then the other thing is, now I want you to see, these are dummy rounds. They are dummy rounds. But when I enter that, load a round, you can see there's a little round in the chamber indicator right here. I hope that's showing up, but you can see it, and it's right there. I'm always going to have a round chambered, so this really doesn't matter to me. I will know that I have a round chambered in this weapon. I did get a new holster for it. This is a Concealment Express holster, and I really like this holster. I wanted something with a little more retention for my M&P. For my shield, I was using this, I don't even know who made this. Anyway, it's a leather holster, and I really did like this thing. It actually retained the pistol pretty well, but I really wanted something with a little more retention for this, and it retains it very well. I like this little flap that it's got right here, so when you're going to draw, that's all you're going to do. So if you think about what I said about the safety, if this is on my hip, I'm drawing, safety off, and I'm ready to fight. Okay? So anyway, this is a good little holster. Again, from Concealment Express. I think the holster was, I don't know, 35 bucks, something like that. Anyway, that's my review, my quick review of the Taurus G2C. Hey, thanks for watching, everyone, and shoot straight.